Okay, we're live.
Alright, live it is.
Alright, sorry guys, let us get going. We're still in the starting phases of this. I promise our production value will get better as we go.
Oh,
Just kind of figuring this out, but welcome to the first episode. We're calling it Alcohol and Ambitions of Achievement, which is pretty straightforward on what we want to do. We're going to talk about our ambitions, everything we're doing in life, and we're going to drink some beer while we're at it. So today's episode is not brought to you by Deschutes Brewery with their Jubilee. What is it?
It's Jubilee.
Jubilee?
Jubilee? I don't know.
Whatever. But
we're drinking it.
We're drinking it. They don't sponsor us, but maybe someday. Come
Yeah.
on, send us some free swag.
Come on, Deschutes.
Come on, Deschutes. But
Alright, so basically to start off, we kind of practiced, rehearsed this on Tuesday.
yeah, we got a little too drunk.
We got way too, we're going to have to cut that drinking out a little bit beforehand is the issue. It's okay drinking in, but we were 6 beers deep.
Well, yeah, we were going to do, it was kind of impromptu. We got a little drunk, talking about how we were going to do it, and we're like, oh, well, let's practice it real quick. And then we actually had some good stuff, and we just ended up rolling with it. But by the end, we were slurring our words and forgetting what we were saying. So I guess that's the first lesson learned. Don't get too hammered.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a lesson I've been trying to learn for years.
Since I was 15, but...
I don't know if it's ever going to set in. I think it's that Wallowa County bloodline.
Yeah, it's ingrained.
Yeah,
it's really
ingrained for sure. But yeah, guys. So we're gonna do this live every week. Every Sunday we'll do a Facebook Live. So that'll give you guys an opportunity, if you're watching, to interact with us. You can ask us questions. You can tell us maybe what you want us, where we want to go. You can just talk shit and say that we're a bunch of fucking losers.
Yeah,
we don't care.
That's fine.
Do whatever. Give us comments. Give us feedback. We're doing this. Maybe you guys can learn from our experiences and what we're doing with our lives, but, we want to learn from you, too. I think we're all in this together. I think it's pretty confusing when you're 20-something and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. I don't think the school system properly sets us up.
No, it's pathetic. But
what we're going to do, and I think we're told a lot of the wrong things growing up that may not always be the right answer. So
a lot of stupid tax.
The stupid tax, exactly. So let's just get right into it. I think let's kind of let them know kind of what we're doing and what our plans are. So I'll let you kick it off.
Right. Yeah. So we created this idea because we just want to get our voices out there and not only help other people, but learn stuff from them. That's the idea of this interactive interface we have, where you're going to tell us your opinions and we'll share with you. And it's a good way for me and Carson to get together, bullshit.
Yeah, it gives us an excuse, which is sad that we've been best friends since we were 17. We need an excuse to hang out when we live 15 miles apart.
But we're kicking life.
Busy life. But yeah,
busy.
Exactly.
But we were talking last time when we were going over it, we wish we would have started something like this when we were freshly 21, 22 years old.
Yeah,
we were
no idea about what we're going to do with our lives. All we wanted to do was go to Dollar Beers and get drunk every Thursday.
Yeah, it was just a lot. We had $17 for an entire week, so Dollar Beers is always a ritual.
Yeah, right.
JC's and Bend.
JC's and Bend.
But so now we're making all these moves in life. We're trying to set ourselves up for what we think is a successful and meaningful life, and so right now we're in the midst of trying to create this podcast. I'm investing in cryptocurrency now. I want to get into real estate. I know Carson's getting into real estate. I don't know why I call him Marcus. Anyway,
shout out to Marcus.
Yeah,
Lynn.
shout out to
Marcus.
real
estate. Maybe that's
that's probably
I'll give you an
that makes
excuse
sense
on that one. But
we're trying. We're trying to kind of expand and learn all these different aspects to try to be successful, and so we wanted to share that, and with that, we want to share what we're doing now. So if you want to talk about what you're doing with that flip, possibly.
Yeah. So I. First off, I'm an electrician by trade. I'm going through my apprenticeship right now, and so I make pretty decent money doing that. But what I want to do is I want to have some kind of passive income in my life that maybe I can make that passive income grow enough to where I don't have to work. That'd be fucking legit. No. But I got a family friend who's trying to help me out with buying just a cheap single wide trailer. I'm thinking about living in that for a couple years and fixing it up because I can, redo all the fixtures for the lighting, the floors, everything. It's all stuff I can do myself, paycheck to paycheck. And then eventually, you know, once I have my journeyman card as an electrician and I'm making real good money, I can move out of that place and start renting it. And, you know, I still have to pay for the spot for the trailer, but, you know, on top with rent, I can, you know, make a couple $100s a month. And that's kind of the thing I want to get into from there, is start with that and then start buying these properties. And, you know, just my ultimate goal is maybe to get in a situation where I can buy one a year, and I don't want to take out any debt on it. I'm, you know, trying to look at doing like, you know, like foreclosures and stuff like that, which is a slippery slope. A lot of people say that you shouldn't buy properties for less than 30 grand, but because there's a lot of stuff, and maybe we'll get into that later. But yeah, so that's kind of my ultimate goal, is just rentals and long-term holds. I'm not trying to flip, I'm trying to rent out.
No, yeah.
What about you, Trent? I know you're getting into the cryptocurrency really big. Is it something we need to talk about? Because I haven't done a ton of research into it, and I want to learn more on that.
Okay. So, like what you were saying, I eventually want to get into some real estate. Right now, the market's pretty rough to break into because it's like the ultra high end.
And that's why I'm just kind of had this fall in my lap with a family friend who's going to let me pretty much rent to own, which, you know, it's a good starting step.
Yeah. So, but on with that, like right now, I thought, what can I do this minute to kind of set myself up for an investment standpoint? Well, the first thing was I learned how to not spend my money like an asshole.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey. Both of us have read the Total Money Makeover, which I read that. I finished it this week. I did it in like a fucking day. I finally got into it and just tore into it and ripped through it, and I recommend that to anybody.
Oh yeah, and like literally, it's funny because when you think you're broke, you're not really broke. You're just buying dumb shit.
You're just making bad decisions. You know?
And so like that's where it kind of took off, because I've jumped around kind of in different industries to try to, you know, I've done some electrical work with you. I've worked with him. I've primarily spent my time in all things construction, but mostly concrete. And so right now I'm working at Idaho, almost called it Idaho Athletic Club, Idaho Precast, and I'm trying to work my way up into, you know, a higher managerial place. I want to just be the GM of that or another branch that they buy, but that's like, you know, that's the stable career goal aspect of that.
Yeah, that's what it is for being an electrician. It's something stable, something I enjoy, but I want to get into making money other ways.
Yeah, exactly, passively. So then my first thing was I listened to Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. And so I'm basically just paying back a lot of debt right now.
Yeah.
Like, what's funny is I'm worth negative money.
Yeah,
it sounds terrible, but like student loans and a touch of consumer debt, I'm worth less than, you know, I'm not talking about an intrinsic human value. I'm talking about in actual monetary dollars. I'm in the hole about 30 grand, but every month I make at least $1,000 step towards, so every month I pay down at least $1,000 worth of debt and invest. And so my first thing was paying back debt and stop spending my money like an idiot. So instead of eating out 5 times a week, you know, Mandel and I will go out once a week and we have, you know, a dinner date budget.
It's the small shit that adds up like that. Like me, I'll get into like week runs where at lunch at work, I go out and eat out every day. Well, it's by the end of the week I've spent over $100, and that's something I easily could have just gone to Winco and spent $30
for the whole week.
For the whole week, you know, that's $70 a week. You know, that's just making like small little changes in your life like that just add up.
Yeah, and that's that small thing. So when I took that. Like, we have a pretty loose budget. We're not super intensely strict, but we do have a pretty tight budget where all of the money first we pay into debt and what we need, and then we put, like, some of our date money we put into, like, cryptocurrency, because I'm more into it, but Amanda's, like, really on board. She's really supportive of it. So I'll do my research, my little nerd out session. Yeah. I'll read about it, and then I invest, and I just made a post on Facebook the other day. I bought... And by the time it was I bought $100 flat even of it. And even after the
was that Bitcoin? Or
it was actually Bitcoin. And I was originally going to transfer it over to another thing, but then Bitcoin took this huge jump, and I couldn't even actually access it for 8 days because my bank wouldn't allow it. By the time I was able to access it, I made $14, and as of today, I think it's went up another $1, just about. But so it's things like that, the small small investments right now because I can't go out and buy a house right this minute, but mostly paying down debt because if you think about debt, like my student loans are about 8% a year, my credit card's 16%, and I'm about to pay that off in its entirety, but it's 16% a year. So anything I invest in cryptocurrency, I have to gauge, is it going to get me more than 16%, or else I'm losing money, not just paying it off.
Exactly.
So I have to be really careful, and I read for hours. When I'm at work, I'll have a podcast constantly in my
That's
ear.
all I do now. I don't listen to music at work anymore. I listen to either audiobooks that have to deal with finance, investing, or just a mental mind state and having a good mind state. Or, I read every night before the bed. Lunch breaks, that's one thing I just recommend. Just learn.
Yeah.
Just get out there and fucking learn. Just
learning is the number one. Like I had no actual skills coming other than construction, right? Mm-hmm. I went to college, didn't learn really anything.
Yeah, I went for a year. I got, close to $9,000 of student loans for that 1 year for something that I'm never going to use in my career and really not going to use it day to day whatsoever.
Yeah.
I didn't learn shit. I took anthropology. Like, what's that going to do?
We could have read that in a book for free, and that's one of the topics we talked about
last time.
Because college, like we get prepped. We hear this every day that we have to go to college. And I remember my dad told me, go to college, right?
So did my dad.
So I just went because he didn't want me to be, a 6 year, because he's 62 and he's still doing his thing. He still has to work, and like he has to, break his back every day just to make a buck. And he doesn't want me to do that, but he didn't think about how information technology in general has changed the game. So it used to be you kind of had to go to college. Now I think college is one of the most overrated things, and we have teachers telling us to go. We have all this pressure, and I dropped out.
Like everything, and it's getting also to the point where that's been pushed so much that we have this vast amounts of people that have degrees in something that's they're never gonna use it. It's never gonna get them the job that they want. And then on the other end, we have a lack of people in trades.
Oh, yeah.
And which are important jobs that have to get done. And honestly, you can make just as good to better money in a lot of these trades.
I'm making better money. If I would have finished, so I dropped out with 4 classes to go my senior year. 4 classes was it. I actually kind of flunked out because I failed statistical analytics twice. But I was working 60 hours a week, and I was like paying. It was a pain in the ass. But anyway, when I found out what I would have made straight out of college with that degree, compared to what I was already making in the concrete trade, I was like, oh, I'm doing better right now. And like maybe in a long-term sense that might have paid off, whatever. But I have like a daughter to support, I have our family to support. So I took that as like a big learning lesson. I was like, all right, I'm going to swallow that $25,000 pill to realize I fucked up ever stepping in college, because anything I could ever learn, I could pull up for this for free. Well,
exactly.
$50 a month for your service.
I love that line in Good Will Hunting.
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's tearing into the guy at the Harvard bar, and this guy's just regurgitating all the stuff that he learned out of books, and he's just ripping people off, line for line. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I might be explaining something you've seen 100 times.
You have to watch
Good movie. But pretty much, Will, the main character, he schools this guy in it, and he's like, yeah, you just spent $100,000 on your education. I learned the same thing for like 50 cents in late fees at the library. And
it's true. And now even more so than that, we have something so incredibly powerful. This right here has more information technology and processing power than what sent a man to the moon in our pockets. So if you don't, it's so grossly underrated how much power you have at your hands, and if you don't understand that, you need to learn that, because anybody, I don't care if you're 65 years old, I want to teach my dad how to work with this stuff. You can learn anything for free or the cost of your service, which when you think about, you would have
to fucking pay it anyway,
so
it doesn't matter.
So books, it used to be a controlled thing of, we're talking about college. It used to be so much controlled information in one area. You had to go to college to get access to the books, because the books were what made the people money, because they learned something. Well, now everybody, a kid in India could buy a $10 smartphone and learn. And it's changing the landscape of the entire world. I was actually reading about this. Kids in Africa that you used to have to send money for books so they can learn, now you can send them a $10 smartphone. And it might be a piece of crap, and if they ever get, if we can get access to internet for them, we don't have to send another book ever. They can learn something. And so I think this is the way of the future, and I know it scares a lot of people,
Yeah.
That,
I mean, yeah, there are parts of it that are a little intimidating.
oh yeah, AI is like, and my boss and I are talking about that. It's kind of intimidating, like, you know, what's going to become of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a great backup. And like a trade is a perfect.
Yeah.
Have that as your primary and start learning about this.
Yeah, I have a couple points. One, this is kind of a side thing, and I don't know. I was listening to Joe Rogan and this came up. And I haven't read the news story at all, and I think it was through Google though. They already started to have like 2 different computers that are starting to communicate with each other in a language that is entirely made by them.
Yeah.
It's a language that we don't understand. Like
Spencer and I, my boss, talked about
fucking
it.
Matrix shit that AI taking over. It's starting to happen, which is scary. But ultimately, I don't know what'll ever happen. But I just thought that was
I know.
a little creepy.
No,
like,
that's I remember, and I've heard some stuff too, and like. And that's a little far-fetched, you know. Like the one redeeming factor about that is like AI is in every part of our lives now. But I don't think it's going to lead to some like post-apocalyptic, Terminator thing. But it is scary.
It is a little intimidating.
In the privacy of our lives,
the privacy thing gets me. You know, the amount of knowledge that Facebook has and Google has about you.
Yeah.
Just from going off of, you know, who you talk to, your search history, shit like that, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get back to the trade thing. In one, you know, we're not knocking college at all.
No.
You know, it works for some people, and there's definitely a lot of degrees out there that you can get a job right away. And you can make good money. You get like an engineering degree, you can get a teaching degree. You know, anything like that. It definitely is feasible for certain people, and it works for certain people. But and I'm pretty sure this is true for all of you guys. You were just growing up, just constantly told that the only thing you have to do is go to college. Yeah, and that's not the case. You know, exactly. Like I went to college for culinary management, which has a bunch of because I love to cook and I wanted to start my own restaurant, which is terrible because one, a restaurant's like the worst fucking investment.
90% fail rate.
90% fail. Even if you do succeed, it's going to take 5 years to turn a profit in that. Which and I just hate after waiting tables for so long. I hate working in service, anything service. But anyways, you know, I already make more money as an apprentice than I would have after I got my degree, and I still, you know, I'm gonna double my money by the time I get my J card at least. And then, but I just like the trade thing. Like those are jobs that are needed. And you know, and it's like it's got like this stigma to it now
that you're dumb.
That you're dumb if you're a construction worker or you know stuff like that, and it just doesn't make any sense, you know. And we need people to join these trades. Like right now, as an electrician, usually there's a ratio for how many apprentices you can have per journeyman. The journeymen, you know, are the actual licensed guys, and they're supposed to teach their apprentices. Well, it's usually 2 to 1, but there is such a lack of people joining the trade right now that they had to up the ratio to 3 to 1
so they don't have enough
journeymen to train apprentices, and that's how it's getting all across the board. And these are all jobs, you know. An electrician, first year you get your J card, like in this area in the Pacific Northwest, you're making $35 an hour your first year as a journeyman.
You can make up to $80 an hour as an electrician, and somebody that goes to college and you know gets some degree, like. Tell me a degree that guarantees you about 8. Well, it doesn't guarantee you, but
there's not very many jobs you're making $35 an hour. I mean, most college jobs are salary anyways, but that's probably roughly $60,000, $70,000 a year. There's not very many degrees that you're going to start out your first year at 60 to 70 grand.
And here's the thing, you might
unless you go to college for 7 fucking years, you know.
Well, and here's the thing. So even if you just get a regular bachelor's degree, we're not talking about any extra education. Maybe let's just say you go $40,000 in debt. Electrical school is $900 for a year.
And it's 4 years. So.
And most places will pay for it.
Yeah, so my boss pays for all my books. He pays for all my schooling. The only thing is I have to get at least an 80%, which is fucking cake. I got a 95 in my first year, and that was without barely any fucking studying. I know it gets harder, but you know it's not. It's easy.
It's you know if you've got any wherewithal, you'll be able to do that more so. And I think. And now that we're seeing this huge influx of student loan debt, right?
Yeah.
Like there's going to be an eventual bubble because there's too many people defaulting.
Yeah.
So it's just scary. And I mean, I could go into the fact that I don't think the government should be subsidizing as heavily because it drives costs up. But I'm not going to do that now. What I am saying is like if you're worried, if you're an 18-year-old kid and your parents are telling you you got to go to school, your teachers are telling you, you're gonna, okay, I want to make people happy. Well, you got to tell them sometimes to kind of fuck off, because you could go in, and if I went at 18 years old and learned how to plumb or learned how to, do electrical or whatever, right now I would be, making double the money of what I am currently, and so
you wouldn't be fucking 30 grand in
exactly. So I mean, I take this as a learning experience, because I try to be as positive as I can. Everything I do, I try to be, and it's not always easy, because I was just a negative. I mean, Amanda wanted to punch me in the face the other night because I was just such a little bitch, because I was being all pouty. But for the most part, I approach every day. I wake up and try to think of ways to be positive, to make an impact. And one of those things is, I used to be so mad about my student loan debt. I'd wake up and just think about it, because I'm making all these payments. I pay $710 a month in student loan debt.
Yeah, that's almost my rent for this place.
So. And you can ask Amanda, because I'm paying one off I was supposed to pay it off over 5 years. I'm making 3 total payments on it, so it's big bulk payments, because it was only $1,400 or whatever it was. But I'm just going to make 3 bulk payments on that, and then I'm going to go down the line. I'm just doing the Dave Ramsey, the snowball effect.
Yeah, the snowball
but I'm paying $1,000 a month just to pay off stuff that I've already,
Should we explain that real quick?
Oh, the snowball
effect?
Yeah,
I think you guys, if you're interested in changing your finances and changing the way you handle money, go read or listen to this book. That's what I did. I started reading it, and I was having a hard time finding enough time to read it.
Fall asleep. I mean, he's funny, but
so I listened to the audiobook instead, which I recommend, because then I listened to it while I was at work, and I recommend it for anybody. But if you want to explain the snowball effect for debt.
Okay,
awesome.
So this is beginner 101 finance, right? So once you figure out wow, I'm spending my money like an asshole, I need to. So you make your first changes. You have to pay off your debt, you have to make the original change of not making any more debt. So you have to figure out, that's the first step, figure out how to not spend your money like an idiot. The next step is the snowball effect. So you take all of your lines of credit, it doesn't matter what percentage is, even if you have a $20,000 one at 16%.
Unless you're actually going to get completely fucking rigged by some high percentage, but most of the time no.
Yeah, but for the most part, you find your smallest debt, and let's say it's a Les Schwab bill for $87, you pay that off first, and then you take that $87 that you're supposed to pay, you compound it to your next one. So let's say your minimum's $200, or let's say it's a motorcycle. My motorcycle's $200 a month. So you take that, and if that's your next one, you take that $87 you were paying per month on your Les Schwab, put it into that, and then whatever else you can afford,
whatever extra money you have left,
you should have a zero
your found money.
Yeah, you should have a zero income balance. Basically, as soon as you get your money in, if you don't tell your money what to do, it's going to do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds weird, but if you
make your money work for you.
Yeah, so if every 2 weeks you get, $1,400, whatever, you sit down, you write every dollar out, to the penny. This is where it goes. Even if it's to save, or even if you want to go on a date or whatever, if it's
and you can budget that shit out. I have on my budget, I have a set amount that I'm allowed to treat myself.
Yeah,
with.
treat yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I have that every month, and then whatever's left over, I put in my snowball debt thing. I put it towards debt.
Yeah, and that's and if you can do that, you take your smallest one and you snowball it. So Robert Hughes, if you are listening or will ever listen, I just saw that he paid off his last student loan thing and 2 credit cards all in one day, and he posted it. He was all excited about it, and a lot of people don't get it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, that's rad. That's the coolest thing, because now I have a profound effect of when I pay something off, it feels so good.
Oh yeah.
So every time I see,
if you make it a major focus in your life, you're gonna take fucking joy out of paying it off. It becomes a game. It becomes something.
It's
great,
addicting, You're I wonder how much. Yeah. I wonder if this extra $10 that I was gonna spend on whatever, if I could put into that and make one less payment over the course of a year.
Yeah.
So all those things add up. So that's kind of where we're talking about the snowball. If that didn't give you a good idea, definitely listen to Dave Ramsey.
Listen to Dave Ramsey, and you can just Google it. You can Google Dave Ramsey baby steps for finance, and it'll pull up his list. You don't even have to read the whole book. You can do it, but I still recommend it.
It takes 5 minutes to read his list.
The book's not long. I think the whole audiobook is only it's less than 4 hours for the entire audiobook. It's 3 hours and 41 minutes.
And it's funny.
And it's funny. He's a good speaker. I mean, the guy's been on the radio for fucking years and years. He's a good speaker, and he has a lot of people don't like him, but I love the way he talks. I love his ideas, and I think he genuinely wants to help people.
Oh yeah, and so
he's a guy who's been broke before. He's been a millionaire and lost it all and had to become a millionaire again. So he kind of knows. He's not some pampered rich guy who was on the radio forever and had millions of dollars and decided, I'm going to tell people how to manage their money. Like, he actually
too many people do
got rich, lost his money, changed his outlook, changed his style of doing it, got rich again, and now he's telling people his steps for it.
And I'll tell you right now, they work because
that's what made me want to do it, is watching Trent and Amanda Lynn.
Hey, Amanda, say hi.
We got
Hello.
Trent's fiance over here. She's our Google girl.
Yeah.
In case we say something that's probably not true, we'll have her Google.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, it's probably worth the Google.
Yeah, make sure we're not idiots giving out wrong facts, but which is gonna happen because we are idiots from Bumfuckville, Oregon.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
speaking of getting out of debt, did you see Michael Vick just paid back his debt?
Really?
Yeah, Michael Vick. He filed for bankruptcy in 2008. He owed $17.6 million. And he paid 99 cents on the dollar since 2008, and he finally got out of debt yesterday. He paid $17.4 million back out of the 17.6.
Wow.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That rarely happens, and even like all the people who consolidated his debt and all the lending institutions and whatnot were like, this doesn't happen. One out of 100 people pay back 99 cents on the dollar out of debt and actually do it, especially with this thing. I don't know how I feel about Michael Vick. He was my favorite player.
And now, especially if you love dogs.
Yeah, and I own 2 pit bulls, and he killed how many fucking pit bulls?
So you can't advocate for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, this whole podcast is about. We're able to speak what we feel, and like one side, we can think of one side of somebody is like, okay,
Speaking
this
of
is
one,
good.
he heard Pitbull and he got all
heard
excited.
Pitbull. Well, this is Turner.
This is Turner. He's kind of dumb, but he's a good dog.
But so we can say, this might be positive about it, and this sucks. So like, we're not advocating like, oh, Michael Vick's this awesome saint because he paid his debt back because he's kind of a scumbag with the whole pitbull fighting thing. But just we're talking about debt repayment. And he paid off some debt.
Yeah,
so
let's be honest. Let's just get this out here now. We're probably going to offend some people over these episodes. We came from a really conservative, really redneck background. We're not.
I don't have all my teeth.
Yeah,
I swear to you.
I think if politically we'd probably both be libertarians, but I think in the classical sense. Because I think there's like I think a lot of people are libertarian, say they're libertarian for the wrong reasons. They're just like,
to be cool, because it's kind of cool
now. It's catching on, it's the thing. And it's like almost like it's an anti-establishment thing now.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because, so I'll have to say this. This is really funny. People are going to laugh about this. So Jack Walker, I've been following a lot of his stuff, and so I used to be not like liberal by any sense because I don't believe in like extreme gun control, but like I remember when Bernie Sanders first came out, I was like, oh, audit the Fed. That's the first thing I saw about him, and I was kind of like, yeah, okay, but I was economically illiterate. I didn't know how things actually worked in the real world, and I was like, yeah, it does suck that because I was only making like $10.50 an hour, and I was like, wow, life's hard, and I was just too impatient about building my life, so I was like, yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Like all these corporations are making money, and then like as I grew and I realized I'm in control of my finances. Now I want to be a 1% guy and have people talk smack on how little taxes I have to pay. Right. But anyway, aside from that, I remember I just took this huge learning curve and how to learn about it. And then I remember Jack Walker posted this. It was from a libertarian page, and I went down the rabbit hole with like learning everything about it.
You were hardcore into it for a while.
Yeah, dude. I was like posting every day. I was posting something about it, and it's not even about the fact that I hate paying taxes, which I do. Yeah. I genuinely just kind of hate
30% of your paychecks.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about all the fees and registrations for your car, your driver's license, anything in business, so I have to go get like an ACI for quality control. Yeah. Like I'm gonna have to pay into that because we have to have one of those. Yeah. So long story short, like I just don't believe in like a central control. Like if I could just destroy the federal government, not like in the sense of but like if I could eliminate it in the fact of like going through the paperwork and just have all state government, I think that'd be the best idea. But I know it's not going to happen.
Too. I stand with Republicans there. I believe in smaller government.
Yeah, and well, that's part of the libertarian idea is like the people should kind of be their power. And then Jack Walker explained I forget what it's called. It's called volunteerism. Volunteerism is kind of the idea where you don't have a government, and it's obviously like you can't really be practical in the world as we live now. Yeah. But as like take your own life in your own hands. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, do your thing, right? Yeah. So I mean, I believe in kind of those principles. Like, I don't care what you believe. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sexual orientation you are. You're cool as long as you're not messing with anybody else. So that's where we build our libertarian background on.
You know, and even then, I would really fall in with Republicans if Republicans were still what they started out as they are now. Like now, it's I think being conservative is too tied in with religion and like Christian values and stuff like that.
At times, but like, yeah, I just think that, you know, I believe in separation of church and state.
Yeah,
like, highly.
I do too.
Because even if like, let's say I was a certain religion, I don't want, like, if I was a minority religion and another religion took over, and like, let's just say I was Catholic and like a complete Christian government took over, like, I don't want to be forced into that. And that's why the freaking people came from Europe to start a new colony, because they didn't want to be forced to excuse or
get away from religious prosecution.
But yeah, so that's where we come in with that. Like,
speaking of Bernie Sanders, real quick, I was thinking about this the other day, and this is a kind of cool question. Do you think if Bernie Sanders would have won the Democratic, if he would have became our main candidate, do you think he would have beat Trump?
Ooh, I think he had enough popularity. I think he would have.
Yeah, so do you think if he got past Clinton, he would have beat Trump?
I think he would have.
Too.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but
actually the people that we grew up with.
Oh yeah, because
Trump's the
bunch of Trump supporters, and that's
Trump's the greatest fucking gift to anybody. Which you know,
if that's what you believe, that's awesome. But what we see is like it just from a completely, you know, outside perspective. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously, but I think that he had enough popularity with the younger voting crowd, which now the baby boomers are kind of going out, and like in 20 years, they're not going to be here. Yeah. So I think,
and they're going to take Social Security with them.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the whole Social Security scam that I'll never see $1 out of.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so that's, I mean, that kind of ties in with our political. We don't have an agenda because we don't want to push it, but that's our belief system, you know. So
yeah, I am not political by any means. I know the basics to get through life, but I'm not. I hate politics.
Hey, guess what? I haven't voted for presidential candidate once. I had 2 chances to vote. One, it was either Mitt Romney or Obama.
See, I voted. I'll admit, people are gonna, especially county, are gonna get
county people
fucking pissed at me. But I voted for Obama the second time he ran, just because I hated Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
But which, looking back now, I probably like Mitt Romney more than I did back then.
Different perspective.
I was 18 or 19 then. In Portland, Oregon. I was super liberal.
Yeah.
Like I was.
Yeah. So I've always been in this weird, like, I mean, I'm just not somebody that kind of follows along to. I've just always kind of been out there with everything I do, and so I just looked at the whole political game. I was like, why? You know, like the South Park. We're South Park.
If South Park was a political party,
we'd be.
I'd fall in
because they make fun of everybody. So
they make
like,
fun of everybody for sure.
I could never be like a Democrat because it's like, oh man, they have too many belief systems that I don't believe in. Yeah. And on the Republican side, it's like I can't fall into that. Yeah. And but you know, with that being said, I haven't voted once because I had, like I said, Obama or Mitt, and then Hillary and Trump, and I'm not.
I didn't vote this year, you know.
And I don't care what anybody thinks about it. I'm not voting for any of those people.
Yeah, I didn't vote for anybody. And
then this is another. They're gonna be like, well, if you don't believe votes matter, the whole Gary Johnson thing.
See, this is what I was going to bring up because we talked about this the other night. I thought it was a really good thing. So I was saying that if I would have voted, I would have voted for Gary Johnson, but I kind of didn't vote for him because I knew he wasn't going to win. He came through with 2% of the vote, which is part of the problem in itself. Is everybody's like, oh, he's not going to win. There's no way he's going to win, so I'm not going to vote for him. Well, then he doesn't get those votes.
How many votes total? So we have 300 million Americans, legal Americans, that can vote, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many are above 18, but we have like hundreds of millions of Americans.
Yeah.
And
plus, and how many too, and whatnot.
Yeah, well, and how many total votes were there? So that
I don't know. Amanda Lynn.
It's probably worth like
how many total people voted in this election?
Not enough to justify an entire if everybody was forced, like you said, in Australia. To make a vote.
In Australia, you are required to vote. If you're of voting age, you are legally required to vote. So what we were talking about is in places like if the U.S. was like that and you're legally required to vote, what have Gary Johnson done? Because there's going to be so many people that are like me, and like Trent, that like he sucks, she sucks. I'm not going to vote for either one of them Gary Johnson's cool, but he ain't gonna win.
Only 58%.
58%.
So
not even 60%.
170 million people.
Yeah, let's say, and that's scary to think that not even 2/3 of the American population that voted.
Yeah.
That's insane to think. And so 1/3 of the people didn't even vote. Maybe they didn't care at all, but a lot of those people are like, I can't make a vote. Like, and then a lot of people I know were like, well, lesser of two evil vote. Like,
exactly.
Man, Trump's such an idiot.
I was like, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, I don't want to vote, but if what?
I was a lesser two evils.
Yeah, man.
I was like, if I have to vote, I'll vote for Trump because I think Hillary's a fucking con artist. She's a criminal, and she's just morally.
There's just
she's just fucking evil,
and it's establishment, and it's big money, and I don't like it.
I have a problem with career politicians too.
Yeah, I mean, in general, that's just ridiculous. But this is a good point. We're bringing up all sorts of stuff. We're talking about finance, talking about religion, talking about political.
And I think our shows are going to just get more and more
out there.
Yeah. Especially as we get more drunk. The end of the episodes are always going to be more interesting than the beginning of the episode.
At the end of the episode, we're going to have a story time. We're
going to do a story time. We'll tell a funny story from hijinks that we got into when we were younger.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point. We want you people. Well, we want everybody that watches this, and we want to learn too. But like, we want to let people know we didn't start off like in this really good position in life.
Oh, we were pretty far behind.
Yeah, I grew up in a double wide trailer, and literally a horse could put his head through our double wide trailer window because we didn't have screens on it, and like it. So kind of hillbilly. Like I said, I don't have all my teeth, and I'm cool with that.
There isn't a stoplight in the entire county that we grew up in, and it's land-wise, it's one of the biggest counties in the state. Yeah, there's 6,000 people in the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so we came from kind of that background. Our family didn't have money.
No,
So we learned a lot of things on our own. So basically, what we're doing, we're taking a deeper level of like you don't have to start off in a good position to create a better position. But we tell these stories in the sense like I hope you enjoy it because they're funny and like it explains like hey we were dumb too and we still do dumb shit.
But I'm still I'm only 24.
Right.
I'm still learning. We're all learning.
But we'll tell a funny story at the end just to see if it's
definitely going to be setbacks. But,
how
do we have anybody say anything yet or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, look it up, Trent. What are the viewers saying? Or viewer?
Yeah, the one viewer. I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to find it.
Sorry, people. Like I said, we're still trying to
figure
this out. It's going to get better as it goes. We're going to invest in like actual equipment.
Where's the live thing? Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Now we're watching ourselves.
Look into how Israel elects their Congress. Oh, that's Eric said that. Union dues make me want to kill myself. Anthony Small.
Wait, what? Oh yeah,
watch a cheap price drink beer and talk about life from the shitter in the middle of Washington.
What a world!
Oh man,
yeah, babe.
We love you guys. So we're gonna shut that off because it's kind of
it's hard to listen to ourselves and talk at the same time. But yeah,
Eric, I wish I knew how Israel elected.
I have no idea. Maybe Eric, if you're watching this, do you want to come on next week and we'll talk about that?
Yeah, call in.
And we are always saying we want to have you on anyways because Eric. I don't know if you guys follow Eric Repka, but
do it.
He's out there doing fucking awesome things with his lives, and he makes us look like dirtbag pieces of shit for sure because he's fucking living it. He's doing it. I mean, he was in Antarctica. Was he Ecuador? Is that where he's going now? Or
I don't know where he's going now. Yeah, he was in Cuba like a few weeks ago, and he's been in the North Pole and the South Pole. He's been all through the world.
He's younger than us.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly. And I talk with him pretty regularly now. Like we stopped talking because we were both so busy. Yeah. But we started talking again because I have a lot of ideas I want to bounce off him, and so and now we've been talking more recently about how I'm trying to break into this marketing level kind of stuff. I'm trying to learn from him, and he throws some awesome projects out there. But yeah, I would love to have Eric on and Anthony. I love your idea. I'd love to have you on as a firearm. Like you could talk about firearms. Yeah. I don't know I love shooting guns. But
I do too. We live for it. My dad lives for hunting, and he's. In fact, I went and bought him an NRA hat today. I have it in my room.
But, and also, Baines would be cool to have.
Baines would be cool just for the fun value.
Oh yeah, his puns are unbeatable.
But he went out. He's one of the people who went out and got a marketing degree that's actually successful with it. Because I want to do marketing forever, and then I found out a bunch of people who aren't doing shit with that degree. Ian's fucking doing it.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to talk to him too. There's a lot of people we want to have on that to talk to us.
And Grady. So Grady, I just
Grady
talked
will be a good one too.
I just talked to Grady actually this morning for half an hour, and so he's been doing wedding photography and videography and different like kind of
hunting stuff.
Hunting, yeah, he follows hunting.
He's
so
really good at it too.
He's makes masterpieces. But so anyway, we were talking, and he has all these ideas. So I've been working with him. I'm gonna try to do some media stuff. I'm gonna try to get my boots on the ground and help him market that. And I'm gonna be kind of a middleman with my Martin Media Solutions. I'm gonna try to find people to find him. I'm just gonna basically be a glorified salesman, but use marketing skill to strategically find people. So and I've got that in the works. And I've got a ton of stuff in the works, and we'll eventually cover more.
Anybody who is interested in this and wants to come on or whatnot, like I said, we're here to learn too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not here just to fucking preach constantly.
Yeah.
Like, we want to learn. That's why we want to do this. We want this to be a group thing.
Yeah.
So if you think you have something that'll be good and people need to hear, send us a line. Like, we'll comment right now. But we'll bring you on if you got something that's worth value. You know, even if it's not worth value to us, but you think it's something that could really help people. Come on, let's do it.
And I'll have to shout out. So a buddy of mine I kind of met through. I've actually never met him in person, but basically social media meeting. Both these strongmen. So Evan Arthur does Brickyard Barbell, and I want to go on there and talk some stuff, and then have him maybe on here. But so he follows a lot of strength sports stuff, and he just started a podcast. So if you ever, if you're interested in strength sports at all, that's one of my passions. I still listen to.
Do you have a link?
I can post a link, but I mean, he's got some good people on there. He's got professional athletes, whatever, and he talks about some good stuff. And he's a good dude, and he has a good voice to listen to too. So it's not really. But yeah, so if you ever check him out, but he was actually he talked about this. He posted his first one a month ago, one of his podcasts. And I've been thinking about it, and we've actually talked about a little bit about doing it, and it just kind of morphed into now we're putting it out there
and going for it. Just send that.
Yeah, just send that. But we were talking about, even if our moms are only
people watch this, we're still gonna do it because it's fun to us. Because we get together. Whenever we're together, we have these conversations anyways. This is all we talk about when we're together. This isn't forced at all. This is exactly how we are, and so we figured that we're gonna have fun doing it anyways, and people might find it fun to listen to, and they might get something out of it. Yeah. So
we're gonna learn more from it.
Exactly. And as long as we're having these conversations, we're gonna broadcast it, whether it turns into anything or not.
And we'll have a great time. And already people are showing interest in coming on, and we'd already talked about. It'd be really cool to have some of those introspects. But
I'll also I never really touched it. I started to at the beginning of the episode, then I kind of went off on a tangent, which is probably going to happen pretty often. Anyways, the format of the show, what we're going to do is every Sunday we're going to do this Facebook Live video, so that'll give a chance for you guys to interact with us and whatnot. And then after we do that, over the next week, we're going to put it into the editing software. We're going to, clean it up, maybe cut out fucking boring spots or whatever.
Or if we stumble over, or we're 6 beers deep, whatever.
Yeah, we stumble over something, or, if we want to, just fine tune it, make it a little cleaner. We're going to do that during the week, and then Sunday, before we record the next one on Facebook Live, we'll post it to probably 5 or 6 different...
shotgun approach.
Yeah, shotgun approach to different podcast sites. So we'll have it listed eventually, and and then we can add stuff we wanted the link to your buddy's podcast.
Yeah,
we can come back and record that real quick and add it into the podcast, so we can have we can sign our work pretty much and give people chances to, kind of look and figure out the stuff that we're looking into.
Yeah, and the biggest reason why we're doing it live, first of all, we want it raw and unedited, so you guys know, we're not trying to have any kind of, this is
nothing hidden here.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we want everybody to, tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and we want, obviously we talked about 5 million times before, we want to learn from you, so... Post your stuff. Ask us what you want us to cover. If you guys are really interested in cryptocurrencies and how to buy them, and tell us that. Or if you're really interested in the Dave Ramsey stuff, we can go more into that. Or just some weird stuff. We'll talk about whatever you show interest in, and even if it's just 5 minutes of BS and whatever. But that's what the whole format is, and it's alcohol and ambitions achievement, because we're gonna be drinking some beer every time we do this. Just as a fun way because this is what we do anyway.
This is what we do anyways. And we'll eventually have it like right now. We're recording off my iPhone and we have his phone set up so we can kind of half-ass look at it. Eventually we'll have cameras, laptops and stuff, so we're actually watching the stuff right away. So if you post a question or whatever, it won't take us 10 minutes to...
Yeah, so that's our bag for that.
You know, we're going to get...
Bear with us.
If the audio's bad, you know, tell us what... That's a good thing. Tell us what you think of the audio. Does it sound all right? Because we're probably going to get microphones and stuff, but, you know, we didn't want to go... Trying to be frugal. We're not going to go out and spend a bunch of money on something that we don't necessarily need yet. Mm-hmm. But as this progresses, you know, the production value will go up and we'll get cleaner. If it gets good enough, we already talked. We're going to set up a website for it. If it gets good enough, and maybe on that we'll actually write some blogs and shit like that. And
well, this is a good intro into what. So we're talking about writing blogs to your website. So right now, I'm actually trying to open up this frugal. What?
Group up?
Yeah, I need one more. So I'm trying to open up this website, Frugal Fitness, and this is where I came into this, right? So basically, I want to do something. I want to talk about what I'm passionate about, and so like finance and fitness are my two like kind of passions. So it's easy to talk about any day of the week. So I'm trying to open a website right now, and I've been writing. I have like 5 or 6 articles that I've written, and once that website comes up, I wanted it to be done, or at least up, even if it was glitchy. I wanted that to be up by the end of November, but it might be pushed back to December depending on when that is. And then I'll eventually link Feng Ha. He's the one that's building it. I'll link his. He's the website builder, and he does really good work. So I'll link him. What?
You want to toss that?
Oh. I'll link him so you can check out his site. So if you're not going to build your own website, you can talk to him. So we're trying to link everybody too. This is a networking potential for everybody too, because
for sure.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Hey, Amanda, do you want to check and see if we have any questions or anything?
Oh yeah.
Dakota said shotgun and beer.
Dakota, man, I got stuff.
Bad influence.
I mean, I used to love shotgun.
It is the inaugural episode though, Judy. I have some Bud Lights.
Your mom says talk about your small town lives.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good one.
Okay, how about? Yeah, how much time we got left? Should we go into the story?
How long have we been going?
About an hour. 50 minutes.
46 minutes.
46 minutes.
Well, I'm doing good. If you want to keep going for a
Yeah,
while,
let's keep going.
We can kind of talk about small town life and our childhood and whatnot, and then we can go into story time. Should we shotgun a beer for Dakota?
Do you have a straw for a snorkel?
I have cans though. I have Bud Light.
All right, you're bad influence.
Bad
This is the one time we're doing it.
One time we're gonna do this. First
One
episode. This
That's
is
it.
the only time.
That's it, Dakota, and you better watch this every week now.
Yeah, Dakota, you better be our #1 fan. You better be wearing
So-
a fucking T-shirt that says Trent Carson Rock.
So we're trying. The whole point of this podcast.
Oh, these are tall boys.
Oh man.
Ah, fuck. All right.
So this is okay. Just because we have one fan and it's our friend that we've known since like grade school,
We'll do this, but this is not going to be a weekly thing because this was our. This is what went wrong last time.
Yeah, we drank too much.
We drank too much. Though we did start almost the whole case, Steve.
Yeah,
When we started
we
last
drank
time,
so at least we got a better start. All right.
It says he's a lifetime subscriber.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
there we
Good.
go.
Hey, props to Amanda Lynn, my fiance. She's super hot, by the way. If you haven't seen, you should follow her on IG because
Stop.
I would if I
Motherfucking 10!
So anyway, thank her for she's helping us do this.
Yeah, she's helping out.
And she's such a trooper because I'm so engaged in a lot of my stuff, dude. I was on the phone for like an hour this morning. I'm on the phone all the time with like Hardbody Edge, the owner of that, and I'm taking over his marketing.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that and the Beardzilla thing too.
Yeah, so she puts up with a lot with me, and she's putting up with me chugging a beer, and she's just super cool about it. So props to her.
Props to her. Everybody should be a Mandoline's #1 fan. We
Yeah.
couldn't already. We couldn't do this without.
I know we wouldn't have known to shotgun a beer, but so this because it's the inaugural episode. Oh, that's a pansy hole. Let me.
One time in life, and the bigger the hole, the better.
Yes. All right.
Ready?
One.
Cheers. Here, Dakota. Fucker.
Cheers. Dude, I spilled. I'm not good like I used to be. Whoop. So I'm gonna post a link about Mandolin's first shotgun attempt
Oh my
Oh,
Was that good?
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
She nailed it. She was good until it came up. So, K Dakota, lifetime subscriber.
All right, Dakota, that one's for you. I don't think we're gonna be doing. That's not gonna be an every episode
Yeah.
thing. So that was just for you, bud.
And maybe somebody can laugh about it.
Yeah, right.
But, so anyway, talking about real adult stuff, because now I feel like I'm 21 again. Except for I was super slow. Man, remember when we used to be really good at that?
Yeah, I remember that party at Taven's during Joe Days where you showed up in the fucking NASCAR jacket.
The NASCAR Coors Light story time.
Oh yeah, that's a good story. Well, let's tell that one. We'll have another one for story time.
Okay, so this is a perfect segue into this. So I was 20, just before I turned 22.
Yep.
It was in July, right before I turned 22. So I showed up. It was Chief Just Days. Taven, we love you. Hope you're listening, or at least listen
I don't
sometime.
think he has Facebook anymore.
Okay, we'll send it to him via email. Ancient.
Via email.
So anyway,
2005.
so we're just having a great time. We're partying, like we were partying all day, and so I showed up, and so my mom, if any of you know my mom, she's really eccentric. She has so many clothes that she doesn't know where she got, and sometimes she picks clothes up from like the beach, and so anyway, like that have been left there for a couple weeks. So I found this Coors Light racing jacket, like NASCAR worthy, badass.
Fucking.
So I created
dopest
this
jacket I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, so it's Coors Light had all the NASCAR stuff on it. So anyway, I showed up with this alter ego, and we were beer bonging beers, and I did a 6-pack, and I threw up.
Yeah.
But so I think I slammed like probably 20 beers that night,
Probably.
and one of them was 6.
That was when we had the old BDB. We spent.
Yeah.
Me and Zach Stadel, Jesse Scholl, and our buddy Dane,
Oh.
we spent like $40 or $50 and made this really nice beer bong.
Yeah.
That had a
It
gallon
was rad.
funnel on it. We
Yeah.
called it the BDV, the beer delivery vehicle,
Yeah.
and we literally carried that around
Everywhere
us.
we went.
Everywhere
To
we
the
went
river?
for an entire summer.
Yeah, to the river, to any kind of event.
Yeah, that was our thing. Like we would buy 230. There'd be like 5 or 6 of us. We'd buy 230 bongs when we float the river. We'd beer bong one while we were airing up the rafts, and then we drink the other while we were floating.
And that's just.
We do that sometimes Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and then Carson and I got classy and started drinking bags of wine on the river.
Oh yeah, and then the Hornitos. We
For-
sliced limes, took a bottle of Hornitos and a salt shaker on the river one time. We
Yeah.
were taking Cabo shops while we were floating down the
So
river.
if we can be successful, I know
yeah,
you can
no,
be
if we can do it, you guys can do it. For
so
sure.
anyway, Coors Light racing jacket story. I apologize to my mom because this is.
I probably apologize to Summer while we're at it.
Anyway, so long story short, I got super drunk and I had the best time. I was this alter ego. I'm just beer bong
Martinez,
beers.
yeah.
Martinez.
Trent Martin? Martinez.
And it's long story short, I just got rowdy that night. We're having a good time. Of course, I black out because I was an idiot. So I go back home, and I'm out. I don't remember anything. So I wake up, and my mom's the sweetest lady ever. She's like, honey, do you remember what happened last night? I'm like, no. She's like,
Old Peg Leg has a heart of gold.
yeah, she's got a heart of gold. But so apparently, I was so drunk, and I know people are going to look down on me about this, but I just got to tell it because it was real. I got so drunk that I wanted to go to the bathroom, and I was in our guest room in our house, and the double wide trailer is classy as ever, and I just went to the edge of the bed and I started peeing on the ground, and so dumb, right?
Pregnant girlfriend.
Oh god, yeah. Sorry. That was just the whole thing. I was an idiot, right? But, apologizing to my mother. But she was so sweet about it. She's like, Trent, do you remember what happened last night? I was like, no. She's like, well, I threw a towel over it, and I found out, like an idiot, I peed on the floor. But, I mean, that forever goes down as one of these stories of, remember that one time, Trent?
Yeah.
Beer bong, like an entire case?
I mean, don't worry. Old Brock, if you're watching this, there's
yeah.
how many stories about Brock pissing?
He had to wear adult diapers.
Adult
for a while.
diapers. They have plastic sheets.
Yeah,
I'm
plastic
sorry, Brock. You probably didn't want people to know that.
But, I'm embarrassed. You're
We're all
embarrassed.
embarrassed. Hey, no, Loudoun County, no shame.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, if you're going to grow up in Loudoun County, you're probably not going to have an ounce of shame.
No shame.
Anyways, speaking of that, we should talk about growing up in Loudoun. Was it my mom or Trent's mom that was talking about that? Madeline?
Peggy.
Okay.
Peggy, okay.
So, Mom.
Eric, hold on.
What, Eric?
Eric says, talk about BMBR.
Oh, BMBR.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Let's talk about that, and then...
Oh, Ray's Gym, yeah. I will actually want to have a whole episode on Ray's Gym and because that was a big thing.
Yeah,
for
that
both
was a
of us.
staple.
We'll take
for-
notes for next week.
Yeah,
we'll save.
We'll save
we'll save those for next week for sure.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, let's get into small town
Yeah.
life, and then we'll do story time and wrap up.
All right. Yeah. So small town, man. So I met Carson. You're sophomore?
Going into junior year,
Going
I moved
into-
here. I moved back the summer after my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I lived in Loudoun County. My whole dad's side of the family's from there, and I lived there when I was really young. But I finally moved back. Yeah, when I was 16.
Yeah.
And that's when we met.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we've been friends since then. And
yeah.
there's
we've been
so many
together.
stories. We'll tell a story about that first. Anyway, but yeah, we've like, so when I moved to Bend, shortly after he moved to Bend, we hung out and we're good friends there. And then I basically followed Carson here because I was stuck in Bend, couldn't find a place to live.
Yeah.
And we sent him off. There's a whole other story.
Yeah,
The Tech Nine
that's a good
concert.
one,
We'll
too.
tell that sometime. But he moved here to Boise, and I was trying to find my way in the world, trying to be an adult, and I actually followed him here, and this is how I got here.
We've been here. I mean, I went to Bend for the summer, but we've been here ever since. Just doing our thing.
And so we're just small town, basically hillbillies,
Yeah, I mean, so we grew up in Loudoun County. Joseph's like, what, 1,200, 1,500 people? How big is Joseph?
Joseph's grown a little bit, but when we were there, like 1,200 people.
1,200. And Enterprise, where I lived and went to high school, was about 2,000.
Yeah, just over 2.
Yeah, so it's small. There's
No
four,
Walmart.
there's like 4 towns, unless you count Troy. There's like 5 towns.
Yeah.
And fucking.
And they're all super small.
Yeah.
Nothing over 2,000 people, just Enterprise.
Yeah, Enterprise is the biggest one. It's 2,000 people, and there's no stoplights. Nothing.
There's
It's just-
Subway's the only kind of fast food. There's no like McDonald's. There's no
nothing.
anything.
There used to be a Dairy Queen. Back
There
in the
used to be
day.
Dairy Queen when I was a kid. That was rad, but then they got rid of it. Now it's a Chinese restaurant I wouldn't eat at.
So
if
yeah,
somebody
I
paid
mean,
me.
growing up in a small town, it's awesome because I've lived in big cities growing up, and I lived in small towns.
And
growing
you're
up,
close
and
to-
you're close to everybody. All your coaches, all your teachers, they know your name.
Sometimes too
But
close.
also, it's nice that they know fucking everything that's going on in your life. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but you get in trouble outside of it, and they're gonna know. I mean, for the most part, I didn't get in legal trouble.
Yeah, I never
was
got
just
into legal trouble, but
We
most
just
of my
pushed you.
a lot of my friends did.
Probation.
And my parents knew about it. It's like,
that sucked.
yeah, I'm not gonna say names. Most people listening to this know who it is.
Yeah.
But I had a buddy who got in a fight with one of our best friends. It was a stupid fucking fight, but that friend's mom decided to press charges. So our friend got on probation for assault.
He
And
was on probation.
then he was a weed smoker, and he just couldn't pass a drug test. So he went from being on probation for assault for 6 months or some shit like that to ended up being on probation for like 3 or 4 years because having drug court and all that, just because he couldn't pass the drug test. But all my parents, like my dad, asked me about it. Like, I heard this kid's getting in trouble. He's on probation. What's going on? I don't think you should be hanging out with him. He's a
But he's a
bad
good-hearted dude.
He's
He's just
probably got the biggest heart out of any
Yeah.
of my friends. The guy will fucking do anything for you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's got this bad reputation with all our parents.
and that's small town life.
and the
for
small town life. And yeah, it's,
And it just sucks because even like even if we didn't get in a ton of trouble, there's still, if we were around certain people,
Yeah,
we
got-
were labeled a certain way.
yeah. So that's the drawback for sure. There's a lot of judgment for sure. But I do think I think the good outweighs the bad. Like, honestly, if I could make a good living in Loudoun County right now, I would. That's
It's
where I want to
beautiful,
raise
too.
kids. I mean, yeah, I know that there's going to be a certain level of hell raising. One, because it's my kid,
Right.
and two, because there's nothing to do in a small town.
Yeah.
But I think it just being in a small town and being in that close knit group of people where everybody knows your name, everybody knows your business. It makes you just a genuine person. I
Yeah,
think.
you have to be held way more accountable. You can't
For sure.
like, you can't get away with basically anything because before you get back from said event, somebody's gonna know you went. So, I mean, yeah, there's the drawbacks, the negative, but there's my friends from Loudoun County are still to this day like
Yeah,
my
no, they
closest
are.
friends.
They're my family. They're not my friends.
Yeah,
They're my
exactly.
family,
Like we choose, but that's awesome about living. And it's funny now meeting people that from like very big cities, and they tell their stories, and like they think it's crazy what they did, and we're like,
Dude, and the shit we were getting into when we were 16 just
Bad.
blows them out of the water.
yeah,
you know?
it's so it's definitely interesting, and like we didn't have like the the best educated parents. Like, not saying our parents were dumb, but like they didn't have like formal education.
My dad didn't go to college. Or
yeah,
anything.
my mom did. My
high
mom
school
did,
dropout that went to Job Corps. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and my dad did a good job. He raised me and my brother. My brother wasn't even his kid.
Yeah, and he
took it on, did a good job raising us.
Yeah, and so like they, so we had to learn what the good from them and all their mistakes. So that's the other thing. We didn't have access to like a boys and girls club.
Fuck no.
So when we were 12 years old, I used to get in trouble because I'd take my 4-wheeler and like crank around my 1 acre and I'd rip up the lawn, and then I'd get yelled, and my dad would come home.
Dan Martin.
Oh man, he'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'd rip up, and then I was grounded, and that wasn't any good. But I actually only got grounded once, and then I just left anyway because my mom didn't know how to ground me. I love you, Mom. You're so
Peggy's
sweet.
Too nice.
My dad was just like, he was a swift hand of punishment, but I could do it.
Peggy just wanted to love everyone.
Yeah, she's the most loving person. So I had like a really weird, like, my dad was really stern with me, and then my mom was just so like liberal with the way that she raised me.
Peggy's the mom to half the county.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why everybody loves her. But it gave me a very interesting perspective on A, how to raise my kids, and B, like what defines my success. So they did a lot of things really well, and then they did some things that, like, thinking back, I'm like, wow, but they didn't know it was a bad decision, right? So now that I'm taking all that, I think that's important for that, that small town culture.
Yeah, for sure.
The mistakes that.
For sure. Sweet. Well, fuck, dude, I'm having fun, but should we get into story time?
Story time?
Story time.
What story should we tell?
One that popped in my head when we were talking earlier. Should we tell the story about when I lost my car?
Oh, I thought about that today.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Tuck in, ladies and gents.
Yeah, tuck in, boys and girls. It's story time. But, you want to start off, or should I?
Okay, so you weren't even 21
I wasn't
yet.
even 21.
You had a fake ID.
I had a fake ID, and I remember
Kyle Barshak.
Yeah, it was Kyle Barshak.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fake ID. It was a real
real
ID
ID.
of somebody else, which is more of a crime because it's technically identity theft.
Yep.
So I was Kyle Barshak from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I had everything memorized on it, and because
Yeah.
we went into the bars on like a Wednesday.
Yeah,
it was super slow, and nobody was paying attention.
Well, like,
I don't think he even he like glanced at it.
yeah, I don't think they even cared. But so we went out. We're having a great time. It's like we just met some people there. We were drinking.
We met people at Summit, and I'm still friends with those guys on Facebook. To this day.
Really?
Yeah.
They were cool.
One of them just got.
No, not Chuck. What was his name? Anyway.
I'm drawing a blank, but one of them just got married.
Oh, interesting.
But anyways, so yeah, we went to Summit, and then we went to
our
JC's,
place,
which is our place. I can't believe we did
Shout out
this.
to JC's.
This is still my favorite bar.
We know the bartenders by name still.
Yeah, we get free drinks when we go in there now because we spend so much fucking money there.
We used to go for like a year and a half
every Thursday plus the weekends, and but. So we went in there and we were having our drinks. We were drinking AMFs all night.
So if you don't know what an audio motherfucker is,
it's a killer. That's what it is.
It'll get you real drunk.
But so we were drinking those all night, and it was kind of, the night was winding down. We're getting a little bored, and Trent had some people text him like, "Hey, we're having a party at our house. You guys want to come?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude, let's do that." We just ordered AMFs, and we're like, "Oh fuck yeah, let's go!" And he's like, "All right, let's finish these." No, let's just take it with us.
Right out the door with the glasses in hand.
Right out the door with the glasses in our hand. We drove.
We do not endorse. That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing. You'll get in our stand on drinking and driving.
Don't do it. But we
don't
were
do it
done at one point.
We don't do it anymore. We were done at one point. And we'll talk later about the.
That's some serious shit.
Yeah, but anyways, we drove up to this party. We got in there. We show up, it's not a fucking party. It's like 3 guys, 2 girls, and one of the guys I had gotten in a fight with.
Literally 2 weeks before, there was a huge brawl, like 50 people in the streets, no shit. Yeah. It was like, both sides were my friends, because I had met my Bend friends, and I brought my county friends, and my 5 county friends.
We literally showed up, and people were talking shit about us, like, don't fuck with my county friends.
Oh, I told them, that was a whole nother story, but there was 5 of my county friends and 50 of these Bend kids. And they're talking smack about all my county friends. Is like, don't mess with them. They're like, there's only 5 of them. And I was like, they will fuck you up. And sure enough,
It was like 5 on 10. We
5
beat the shit out of
on
them.
more than that, like 5 on like 15, and all my friends. And all I did was try to pull them apart because I'm friends on both sides. Anyway, long story short, one of those guys at that party
was at this one. That
and
we're going to.
somebody that got like knocked down, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or was I don't know if he,
No, this kid ran inside, and he ran inside.
his brother got knocked
His
out.
brother, Ronald, broke his brother's nose.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And but yeah, so we showed up at this party, and I'm just uncomfortable as hell. One, there's nobody there, and there's this kid sitting right here that
hates.
we have like open animosity between the two of us, and we're like, I'm just like, fuck this. I'm leaving, Trent. I'll see you later. And so I walk outside and I start walking to my car, and then I realize I don't know where the fuck it is. I don't know. I'm drunk at this point. It's a neighborhood I've never been in. I don't know where my car is. So I just start walking up this road. And I get a ways up this road, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this does not look familiar. And I was like, I see this like there's like a retirement center. If you go through the parking lot, the retirement center, there's like this little wooded area. And I was like, I think I need to cut down that way. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to cut through this wooded area. It's going to be way quicker. I take one step into like the little wooded area, and I trip, fall, and I'm wearing cargo shorts. I feel my phone fall out of my pocket. Patting around, can't find my phone. I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm screwed. I'm going to have to walk home.
Yep.
Which is dumb because my friend Riley and Trent both lived like half a mile away. And I'm like, no, I'm going to walk 5 miles across town to my house.
Right.
So I start walking across town, and I get a little down the road, and I hear Trent yelling.
I'm loud anyway.
Yeah, and so I was like, Trent! And we start like Marco Poloing to each other until we reunite. And then we go to his house.
Yeah.
And
Next day.
skip
on. Next day. So we go to try to find his car and his phone.
we don't remember where we parked my car.
No
we don't
idea.
know where my phone's at. We searched for a while. We can't find my car. And we're like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll come back to the car. Let's go find my phone. And so I retrace my steps. We find a little wooded area through the retirement center, and my phone's like laying right there in the open. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I found my phone. I pick up my phone, I look up, my car is like fucking 50 feet away, like right on the other side of this wooded
He
area.
parked in somebody's driveway.
And I pulled it up and I hit a rock. There was like a big boulder marking their driveway, and I was just bumper pressed up against that. And
We survived that.
we survived it, and lucky they didn't call the cops for us running into their fucking ornaments, their decorations for their driveway.
So basically, with that, it was dumb. I hope you laughed at it, but also, if we're dumb enough to do stuff like that and continue on our successful path,
Do pretty good. And,
anybody can do it. So that's
you can do it. I think that should be the overall moral of this show.
Yeah.
Is if we can do it, you can do it.
exactly. So anyway, we've been about it
About an hour or
so.
so. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to aim for an hour every time. It might be over, it might be under, who knows. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll spend this next week editing this, cleaning it up, and then we'll put it on our podcast sites, and we'll send out links and everything when that happens. And then next Sunday, probably around the same time, we'll let you know. We'll do the Facebook Live again. And so any questions you have, just send them to us. Through the various social medias.
And
yeah, so thanks, guys. It's been
appreciate
fun.
it.
I'm excited for this. I really am. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
And
what was good, what wasn't.
constructive criticism. We welcome it. So, do whatever. So, all right. Night, boys and girls.
See ya.